Welcome to Don's Manufactory. Hey, I want to thank you folks for allowing me to take a little break there. It's been a couple of weeks with no videos. But, you know, sometimes a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do in order to get things handled. So, that's not why you're here. You are here for information on Betsy. So, I have been tinkering on her. There's a few things I've been taken care of, but one of the biggest things was I decided that I needed to clean up. We had one day with no rain, and you know, you really got to capitalize on those when they come along. So I pulled the car out, cleaned up the behind the tarp walls and the tarps themselves, and the floor got cleaned real good. Betsy is outside today. She's looking pretty good. Just needs a blocking and some warm weather so I can shoot some paint. And just kind of generally run around and cleaned up a lot of stuff. And the bench too, you might notice. That's kind of what I've been doing. Just I haven't been putting in whole big long days on the car. Just because there's been a lot of things I have to do besides Betsy. But I will get back at it. Here are some shots that have stuff that I've done to Betsy. I'll come back and do a little summary video at the end maybe. Okay, so here we go. So I've been tinkering on the hood here. As you can see, the hood just works normally. Latch is the stock latch. Closes normally. Then I go inside the car. I can trip the latch, the lock for the latch, and now the hood cannot be opened. And so that was my solution. Reach back inside, trip the lock, and the hood just works normal. The control cable comes off the latch, goes through a hole I put in the course board here and put a grommet in. Then it just rounds the corner and goes down the apron like so. And I haven't put any of the ties in to secure it there. I haven't done that part yet. But I was going to wait till after it's painted, because this way I can get the cable out of my way. And then it just goes down through a grommet in the firewall, just to the upper driver's side of the clutch rod hole. And that's it. So what you can see here is I've got the all the pot metal parts have been stripped. And there are a few problems, however. This one on the driver's side is missing a little chunk right here. So I'm going to try Muggy Welding that. Supposedly you can braze dissimilar metals, so I might be able to just put a piece of aluminum in there and Muggy Weld it on to give it the rigidity, and then let it go. And that would fix the driver's side up. Now the passenger side has more trouble. The headlight bezel is busted here. And actually, if you sight along it, I don't know, does the other one do that too? Yeah, it does kinda. Not as much, but I don't know if you can see it there, but it kind of droops right there. So this, because of the brake, this is rolled down. So what I have to do is bend this up. I'll have to heat it or something to get it to stay. This is pretty soft metal, and it melts at a pretty low temperature, but I think if I should be able to get it hot enough with a heat gun, actually, to bend this back into alignment, and then I will Muggy Weld these cracks up so that it stays the way it should. So obviously it's taken a hit. The bucket on that side has, this whole section up here is missing. Has the little pin that locates how this bucket sits in the fender. Yeah, that whole section is gone, so I figure I'll have to rebuild that. It's broken down here. So obviously this passenger side took a hit. Okay, well, what I'm doing here is getting it prepped, and you can see here in the picture that it's broken and fractured in several places. Got to get all the oxidation off so the Muggy Weld will stick. My first attempt was with the heat gun. It should have gotten hot enough, but it didn't. So you can see I used the propane torch to get it to heat up sort of faster. And there's the finished product. It looks really good. It had a little wavy, so I'm going to have to put some body filler in there, but really pretty good. So now I'm working on getting the bracket made, or the piece made for the part that's missing on this headlight bucket. Cutting some aluminum. My first attempt, of course, was wrong because, hey, that's the way I do everything. So I had to cut a new piece, make it a little bigger. Then, of course, it was too big, and I had to grind it down. Yes, wear your gloves and your respirator. This is nasty stuff, toxic. Sorry about that. The time lapse is set to 1 frame per 5 seconds. It's a little quick. So you can see how I got the Muggy Weld, that aluminum in there. You saw that on the time lapse. So now with the fixed cap, the whole thing just fits on there just like so. So finished up the Muggy welding here on this one. So this one here, welded this crack up right there. It's a crack up. You can see where it came through on the back side there. And then I made a piece of aluminum for that missing piece, and Muggy welded that on there. And it looks really good. Everything just bolts right up and fits real good. Now, one thing I could do is put the pin in there, but I don't know if this is necessary. What I did instead was I just located this hole where it has to be. So it's going to be the centering device, and that should be good enough. It's nice and stout. A lot stronger than I thought it was going to be. After I welded that on there, I had to grab this and change the angle of it, and to kind of line it up with the fender. And I just bent without like breaking anything or all of that. And it didn't used to have an angle like this on there, and it does now. See, the old one, the OEM, doesn't have a angle on it to keep it in place, but my new one does, and it doesn't interfere with anything. The welded hood headlight bezel just goes right around there, and it just, and I mean just, fits inside the whole thing. So I could take a little bit off of there, like maybe just, I need to take a little bit off of this outer edge here so it'll lay down further. Yeah, I think I will. That'll help it fit just a tad easier. Okay, let's see if that doesn't help with the fitting. Like Barry says, test fit, test fit, test fit. Yeah, gave it the clearance it needs. but it still needs just a touch more off of that outside edge. Yeah, of course it's not going to go in that far, but I've given it extra clearance. See, it's got more clearance in here for the bucket, or for the bezel, and so now I guess I'll screw it back on the car. Oh yeah, now things adjust. It'll adjust and lay in there better. Perfect. Wow, I like it. Hey, I'm happy with that. It is good to go. Wow, that angle is just so close to being perfect. It's actually some of the best I've ever seen. It's probably not more than a 32nd or a 16th off at the tip here. You know, in terms of droop. I am really glad that this welding method actually worked to fix all this stuff up. It's fabulous. It's like brand new parts. Better than new. So, this will wrap up the video for this week, and I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching Don's Manufactory.